The Book of Soyga or Alderea is a 16th-century Latin treatise on magic. Its author is unknown, but the book was owned by Elizabeth I's advisor, John Dee, who was trying to decipher its secrets. Although the book was written in Latin and Dee was able to read it quite easily, the final 36 pages, which contain tables filled with random Latin letters, were never deciphered by Dee. According to legend, Dee and his close friend, Edward Kelly, a prominent English occultist, summoned the archangel Uriel and questioned him about the meaning of the final 36 pages. The angel claimed that the book was created when Adam entered paradise and it could only be properly interpreted by Archangel Michael himself. The angel stated that the book was cursed and anyone who deciphered the meaning of the coded tables would die 2.5 years later. After Dee's death, the book was thought lost until 1994, when 2 manuscripts were located in the British Library. However, in 2006, Jim Reeds provided an algorithm for solving the encrypted tables. He stated that they contain a list of astrological terms, magical incarnations, and additional names of angels and demons. It's important to note that Reeds didn't die 2.5 years after his discovery, and the historical myth was busted. Manuscript 512 is a 10-page manuscript of dubious veracity and unknown authorship. It was found in 1836 at the National Library of Brazil, where it is kept to this day. It tells about a lost city in the Brazilian state of Bahia that was found by a group of Portuguese explorers in 1753. It is believed that a Greco-Roman civilization could have existed in some remote time in Brazil, and Manuscript 512 confirms that theory. Some parts of manuscript are missing and text is not entirely preserved. The manuscript is one of the most famous and controversial documents of the National Library's collection. Many Brazilian historians consider it the greatest myth of national archaeology. Access to the original manuscript is restricted, but digital version is available online. During 19th and 20th centuries, many adventurers attempted to find the lost city described in the manuscript. On October 9, 1929, Gustav Adolf Deismann was cataloging the Topkapi Palace Library's non-Islamic items and accidentally found the Pirie Race Map. The map caused an international sensation. It was the only then-known copy of a world map of Christopher Columbus and was the only 16th-century map that showed South America in its proper longitudinal position in relation to Africa. The map was created by the Ottoman admiral and cartographer Pirie Race in 1513. Pirie Race claimed that he used a map of Christopher Columbus as a source. 10 Arab sources and 4 Indian maps sourced from Portuguese. Only 1/3 of the map survived. It showed the western coasts of Europe and North Africa and the coast of Brazil and various Atlantic islands with reasonable accuracy. The important thing that the map appears to show Antarctica almost 300 years before it was discovered. The continent was drawn as a land mass as it would have appeared before it was covered with its ice cap over 6,000 years ago. Also, the map was drawn using the Mercator projection, a methodology not used by European cartographers until the late 16th century. It's still unknown whether the Pirie Race Map shows Antarctica or not. But the map is of great historical importance since it demonstrates the extent of global exploration of the New World by approximately 1510. The Pirie Race Map is not usually on display to the public. It is kept in Topkapi Palace in Istanbul, Turkey. Voynich Manuscript is a 600-year-old book written in an indecipherable code with an unknown language. The author of the book is unknown too. The manuscript is named after a Polish book dealer, Wilfrid Michael Voynich, who purchased it from a Jesuit library in Italy in 1912. In 1969, the book was donated to Yale University's Beinecke Rare Book and Manuscript Library. The book is slightly larger than a modern paperback and contains 246 pages. There are signs of rebounding, so the order of the pages today may be different than they were when the book was published. The manuscript is full of drawings. Basing on them, scholars divided the book into 6 sections: herbal, astronomical, biological, cosmological, pharmaceutical, and recipes. The manuscript could be of magical or scientific nature. It's known that the text has fallen into the hands of alchemists and emperors alike. The manuscript has been studied by many professional and amateur codebreakers, but none of the many hypotheses proposed over the last 100 years has been verified. So the text remains one of the biggest unsolved problems in the history of cryptology, and a definitive code has yet to be determined. Michel de Nostradamus, or Nostradamus in Latin, was a French astrologer, physician and seer. His most famous work was the book, Les Prophéties. Its first edition was published in 1555. In the text of the book, each four-line block attempts to predict the future. The book was written in French, Greek, Latin and Occitan. It's believed that the text is full of anagrams, mythological and astrological references, that makes comprehension difficult. Many scholars believe that that was the way to evade the Holy Inquisition. It's believed that Nostradamus predicted the Great Fire of London in 1666, the French Revolution in 1789, the Second World War, and the atomic bombing of Japan in August 1945.